Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Whitney Carman. She's the Grayson County Extension Agent for Agriculture and Natural Resources. Good morning, Whitney.
Good morning.
Well, I'm glad you're here today because we're going to talk. There has been a lot of increase in sheep and goat production, small ruminants, and you have some very timely tips if you are raising sheep or goats this time of year.
Yeah, so I'm in Grayson County, you're in Warren County, and between our two counties, there is a large amount of influx of small ruminants, and that's sheep and goats, for those that don't know what that is. And we are starting to see a lot more questions about it. And so if you are new into sheep and goats, or you are an old hat like a lot of folks, there are some great tips that I've got, because we are going into the fall season, and small ruminants are typically short season breeders. So in most cases, we're getting ready for that fall breeding season. So a couple of things that we want to is first start out with the feeding program and make sure that they always have fresh water, fresh mineral. And if they're pasture, make sure that they've got adequate pasture. If they're a feedlot or on a dry lot, make sure they've got adequate feed stuff. Make sure that you've got an accurate hay or good hay quality that you're feeding them. And
I think one of the misconceptions, Whitney, is that, goats will eat anything. So I really don't have to focus on their nutrient needs, but that's probably not the case, especially with the type of goats that we're raising in Kentucky.
That's exactly right, because what we're usually raising is our meat sheep, meat goats. And there are some that are dairy, but dairy, as we know, when they lactate, they use a lot of energy. So we do have to make sure they have adequate nutrition. And one way to tell that is to, number one, get your hay samples tested. Also, make sure that you are looking at their body condition score. So, make sure that they are not real thin, but you want to make sure that they're not overly fat or underweight. So those are two things to look at, and you can tell that when you see them. You're going to know. And then another thing too is to make sure that if they are starting to look thin, look for worms, parasites. We have a really big problem with that in our state, and the worm anthelmintics that we use to worm our sheep with are becoming more and more resistant. So we need to make sure that we are we're testing all of them, but make sure that we are only giving that to those that actually need it. And so FAMACHA, or the scoring of the eyelid, the coloring of that is, if it's the more white, the more blood loss. So we know that they need to be checked on or given some sort of wormer. And that's a really good time to do that, is prior to breeding, and also right after kidding or lambing for those ewes. Also, make sure that, and we talk about the nutrition, late gestation ewes and does are going to need about half a pound of concentrate sometimes too. So that's any sort of energy, crushed grain, soybean meal, oats, things like that you're going to add to your nutrition of their pasture or hay. And then also, if they're starting into that lactation, so if you're getting ready to lamb or kid, make sure they're going to probably need a little bit more, so up to about 2 pounds a day of that as well. And really good forage, so alfalfa hay, if you've got it, that's a great thing to give to those. But make sure you watch condition and condition score on that.
All really great tips. Now, I know that the Kentucky Sheep and Goat Association, they actually produce a calendar each year that kind of gives you some really good tips.
Yes, that is absolutely correct. We, as county ag extension agents, we work a whole lot with outside commodity groups, and the Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office is a great resource for producers who are interested or getting involved. And this calendar is exactly that, just like our beef IRM. It has the sale dates of our local graded sales. It has the feeding programs for each month broken down into each month. It also has, if you're breeding, some tips for that. It also will tell you when those kids or lambs are supposed to be born. It also has a lot of great resources on body condition scoring, different types of wormers, different types of nutritional quality of our hay. So, I mean, it is one package deal. But if you are a member of their organization, or if you become a member, they've also give that out too, if you're interested in that. And that's something you can talk to them about. But we also have those available at our county offices. Great resources. They also have educational resources that we utilize as well.
All right. Well, Whitney, certainly appreciate the information. And if you have questions about raising goats or sheep, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.